Hello dear knitters! In this tutorial I will show you how to make a very neat looking cuff. Very often we don't need that type of cuff and knitting one by one ribbing works really nice, but sometimes you just feel that something is missing in the sleeve or on the bottom of your sweater, and maybe that's what you have to do. It gives the effect of factory knitted garment, and I find it a very clean and neat transition to the cuff. I have shown a very similar tutorial in the video how to knit the neat neckline, and I will put a link below. And now let's start knitting. When you finish knitting the sleeve and you are about to start knitting the cuff, you have to change the needles half a size smaller and knit 2 rounds in stockinette. Well, I've changed the needles from 4.5 to needles number 4 and knitted 2 rounds in stockinette. And now I will work on the inside. I take much smaller needles for picking up the stitches because it's so much easier. And I go 2 rounds down. So for example, one bump, second bump, and that's the bump that I pick up. Look, bump 1, 2, so that's what I have to pick. 1, the one that goes below it. 1. Try to pick the stitches the same pattern. For example, if I pick from top down, the next stitch do not pick up like this. It's just for the neatness. Okay, so let's meet after we pick up the round. The first bump, and we pick the second. The first, the second. As you can see, I have picked the stitches, and now I have sleeve stitches on the main cable, and on thinner needles I picked up from the inside the stitches. You can see that there are 2 ways of knitting the inside. You can either purl it or knit it. Always knit it, not purl. It's because of the size of the stitch itself. Purled stitches are a little bit bigger, and that will affect your final result. That's why we always knit. And we have to knit only 1 round in stockinette. I attached a little ball of extra yarn. I'm not using the main yarn that I used here. For knitting, I will use the same needles, number 4, that I used for the 2 rounds of stockinette. And when I knit, make sure that you do not knit the stitch open, because it will have a big hole, but you knit it twisted. Not like this, but knit it twisted. And only knit with the tips of the needle. Don't stretch it out. Not like this, but twisted. You don't have to knit super tight, just knit on the tips using your regular tension. I have finished knitting 1 round on the inside of the cuff, and now I have to knit these stitches that are on the main cable with the stitches that are on the other cable. I do not need the yarn from the extra ball, so I will cut it off so I could later hide in here inside. Now I start knitting using my main needles, knitting 2 stitches together. One from here, one from there, I make the first 3 a bit tighter, so there's no opening or stretch stitches in the beginning of the round, and then using normal tension I knit 2 together, making sure now that none of the stitches are twisted. They are open, nice stitches. And here you can see that there's this little line that gives the factory knitted look. I have finished this little hem. This is the right side, this is the wrong side. You can also do this line of knitting here on the inside using different color. That will also give a very nice look. And now you knit your preferred ribbing. In my case, I'll be knitting 1 by 1 and will use tubular bind off. Happy knitting!